shakantansya Nam prabhrijantamanapedamapedakritam daipanaya katarajuhava Putreti tanmayatayo taravo vinedus tam sarvabhuta hridayam manimanatosmi Namasishtam manumapi sajiputramata sarupam rupamatasya agrajaurpurim mathurim goshtavatim Radha kundamagirivaramaho radhika madhavasam prapto yasya patitaya shri guru tam natosmi Ajnanatimirandasya jnananjanashalakaya chakshurunmilitam nena tasmai shri gurave namaha Gurave gaurachandraya radhikaya tadadhe krishnaya krishnavaktaye tadbhaktaye namo namaha Neham shri guru varam shri rupanu pravaram rajarasasikam charnanainam tam prapannam Shri Guru Charanam Vande Ramana Prasthaya Bhutale Rupanu Bhaktitam Charapamurti Narayana Shri Krishna Leela Katane Sadakshamodari Madhuri Vaneshchiyuttam Varam Varinyam Purusham Hantam Narayanam Tam Shirisadamani Radhanastram Dante Dam Yache Punam Puna Srimad Rupadam Bhojatudisham Janmananmani Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupagadame Yamradati Sapadantikam Vairagya Bhakti Rasam Prajnaya Payamam Anubhipsabandam Kripam Buddhi Vyapara Dukkha Dukhi Sanatanam Tam Brahmashayami Vrindavanam Anipate Jaya Soma Soma Maule Sanaka Sanandan Sanatan Naradevya Gopishwar Rajavilasi Yugal Padme Prem Pracha Nirupadi Namo Namaste Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaur Bhaktivedanta Ki Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Bhakta Vinashi Ji Gopal Bhatta Sadgoswami Vrinda Ki Jai Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. So first of all I offer my Shastanga and Lord pranams. The lotus feet of our spiritual masters. Tlavistom Vishnupadasто Dasatashiyam Bhaktivedanta Shri Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev Tlavistom Vishnupadasto Dasatashiyam Bhaktivedanta Shri Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev The entire Rupanakari Guru Varga Arjun of the Nandi Sannyasam Vaishnavis present today. Some of the order of Prabhuji speak few words on Shivaji's glories, Shiva Tattva. So today you were saying how this one devotee, he sponsored for Gurudev's visit to Mauritius. You said he gave a whole lot of money. So then I was just reading, Gurudev actually spent his Shivaratri in the year 2010 in Mauritius. So that was like one of his last preaching tours. Shivaratri. So here they have very nice pictures. Like if you can see from here, Gurudev is offering archan to the Shivlinga. He's doing Abhishek. You can see this huge linga here. He's doing Abhishek, Panchamrit Abhishek. He's also taking some coconut water and he's offering on top of this linga, on top of the Shivlinga. Just like we did today in the morning at Kopishwar, similarly here also. So here it said that on the morning of Sri Shiva Chaturdashi, Gurudev, he visited a local Shiva temple. So there he went, he did Abhishek in that place. Then he did Parikrama of Shivji 4 times. So here you see, he did the entire Parikrama. In Kopishwar, normally what they say is you do half and then you do the other half. But here he did the entire 4 times Parikrama. But sometimes if you're in Kopishwar, you have to be careful. You should not upset them in any way also. Because that is a tradition they follow. So it is good if you do half and half, if not to upset them. But there is no Pandit sitting there, no Panditji, no Pujari, and you can do the entire Parikrama also 4 times. Here he did 4 times. And then after, when he did Parikrama, then he chanted this verse. This verse we always chant. Vrindavan Manipate, Jai Soma Soma Mole, Sanaka Sanandan Sanatan Naradevya. Gopishwar Rajavilasi Yugamani Padme, Prem Pracha Nirupadi Namo Namaste. Which means, oh gatekeeper of Vrindavan. Because we see that before, at the time of creation, like if we think think of creation from the perspective of past, present, future, then it is said that Srimati Radhika, she appeared from Krishna's left side. And Gopishwar Mahadev appeared from Krishna's right side. And who is Gopishwar Mahadev? Non-different from Sadashiva. Non-different from this Vishnu Tattva. So then Gopishwar Mahadev, he was given this service of being the gatekeeper of Ras Leela. Means the Rasa Stali, when Radha and Krishna engage in their Ras Leela, he is given that service of not letting any person who is unqualified to enter inside. Anadhikari. Because if one is unqualified and he will enter inside, then Ras Leela will not take place. Of course, in the transcendental land of Braj, there is no question of someone unqualified entering, but still he is given this service. So even now, if you go to have darshan of Gopishwar Mahadev, you will see that right next to Gopishwar Mahadev is which place? Vamsivat. Vamsivat is right there, which is Rasastali. So if you want to enter into Vamsivat, if you want to enter into Rasastali, first take permission from Gopishwar, then you can enter inside. And then Brahmakund is also there. Gopishwar, Lord Shiva took a bath. So then, just before Gurudev left the temple, he offered obeisances to Nandi. So Nandi is the bull carrier of Lord Shiva. He sits on this bull, Nandi. So then when Gurudev returned, some devotees, they saw that Gurudev, he offered some prayers to Nandi. Gurudev, he offered some prayers to him. See here, he's showing us how to approach Lord Shiva. So then they asked Gurudev what he was praying for. Gurudev replied that he was requesting Nandi with folded hands to pray to Shivji that we may obtain his mercy in his form as Gopishwar Mahadev. Gurudev, he requested Nandi that I wish to have darshan of Lord Shiva as Gopishwar, not as Bhuteshwar, not as Rangeshwar. Rangeshwar Mahadev is right next to the temple in Mathura there. But Gurudev said, no, we don't want the mercy of Bhuteshwar, Rangeshwar, Gokarneshwar, Pipaleshwar. We only want the mercy of Gopishwar Mahadev. And what mercy can we receive from Gopishwar Mahadev? He can benedict us with Gopi Prem. See here. He can give us this Gopi Bhav, this Radha Dasyam. So then, Gurudev, he spoke about the Shivratri. He first asked the question that if Sadashiv is eternal without birth and death, why are we celebrating his appearance day today? Now Sadashiv is Vishnu Tattva. So if he is Vishnu Tattva, then why are we celebrating his appearance today? Why? So then Gurudev replied by saying that we also celebrate the appearance days of Krishna, Mahaprabhu, Ramchandra. The fact is that it is his Narvat Leela. Means Sadashiv, he chose to appear on this 14th day. Chaturdashi means the 14th day. So he chose to appear on the Shiv Chaturdashi. Then Gurudev, he spoke a couple of short pastimes of Lord Shiva. So this is from the Shiva Puran. Because we know Gurudev from his very childhood, actually he was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. He was always respected Lord Shiva. He never minimized his position in any way. In fact, Gurudev's parents, just before he was born, they spent the entire night of Shivaratri praying that they be blessed with a very auspicious, with a very good son, transcendental personality. Like in Shivaratri, the day is divided into 4 parts. And each part is 3 hours each, beginning from 6 in the evening. 6 to 9, 9 to 12, 12 to 3, 3 to 6. So in this way, that is divided there. And then every part of the night, they only spent reciting all the verses of the Bhagavad Gita, reading Ramcharitmanas. They did this from Shivaratri for a certain period of time. And then they were blessed with the son. And Gurudev was called, in his childhood, he was called Bholenath. His grandmother used to call him Bholenath. Because she would say that you are so innocent, like Lord Shiva. Mr. Shivji is very innocent, you are also like that. So he was given that name also. So in this way, even when he grew up, he didn't say anything against Lord Shiva. We must be very careful while judging the position of Lord Shiva. Sometimes even Vaishnavas make many offenses against him, saying, oh, he's like this, he's like that, he's a demigod. No need to go inside his temple. No need to respect him in any way. But this attitude is not good. Because who is he? Nimnagami yatha Ganga, Achyutanam yatha Devam, Vaishnavanam yatha Sambhu, Purananam idam tatha. It is the same Shiva who is Vaishnavanam yatha Sambhu. He is the greatest of all Vaishnavas. So if you cannot possibly have the mercy of a Vaishnava, then how can you have the mercy of Vishnu, Krishna himself? So he's leading, he's showing by example. So then Gurudev is saying there was a hunter in the forest. What would he do? He would hide in a tree, he would hide behind a tree. And then whenever any animal would come to drink water from a pond, he would shoot that animal and kill it. Because he would hide in the tree for some time, he always kept a clay pot of water with him to quench his thirst. On this particular day, he had climbed a bael tree, which, unknown to him, overhung a Shivalinga. So this hunter, on this day of Shivaratri, he climbed a bael tree. So as we know, these bael fruits are very dear to Lord Shiva. And if you see a bael fruit is very bitter, you cannot eat it also. So what does it mean? It means Shivji, he makes one very renounced. He makes one realize the bitterness of this material life, the bitterness of samsara. Why does he have ashes all over his body? Because he's showing us that the ultimate transformation of this body is ashes. This is what the body will become. It will be burned to ashes. So he's saying, before that time comes, you worship Sri Hari without wasting any time. So on this day of Shivaratri, the hunter, he climbed up the tree, this bael tree, and there was a linga beneath. So every time he would climb up the tree, the water from his clay pot would fall on the linga, and Abhishek would be done of the linga. And then, as the evening approached, a female deer arrived there. So as the hunter raised his bow, and at the same time some water fell from his pot, and also bael leaves, they fell from that tree onto the linga of Lord Shiva. So then the deer pleaded with the hunter, don't kill me. So he had his arrow. So she started crying. So then she said, I have a young baby. I just gave birth to a young baby, fawn. So I'll feed that baby, give it some milk, and then you can kill me. Let me feed that baby one last time. So then the hunter said, I know you will not return. You are lying. You are lying, I know you will not. But she said, no, I am not lying. If I don't return, all sin will fall on me for not keeping my promise. I must keep my promise, I will return. So deer said, I give you my word, I will surely come here. So later in the evening, the husband of the deer arrived at that pond, searching for his wife. The hunter again drew his arrow to kill that stag. And at the same time, some water again fell from the pot and some bael leaves fell from the tree. So every time he would climb up the tree, some water would fall from the pot, and some leaves would fall. So this was the second time. The first time it happened was when the deer came there. And the second time it happened was when the husband of the deer came there, the stag. So in this way, Lord Shiva is worshipped in 8 praharas, 4 in the day, 4 at night. The hunter had unconsciously bathed him twice during the first 2 praharas of the night. So for 2 times he only performed the Abhishek for Lord Shiva. So then the male deer pleaded with the hunter and said, I have a wife and children. Let me first see to their welfare. Then I will return, then you can kill me. The hunter did not believe his promise. But then the stag insisted that if he does not return, then again all sin will be upon me. So these animals are very dharmic. They follow dharma. So upon returning to his family, he saw that the sister of the deer had arrived. She insisted that she would take the place of the deer and accept death on her behalf, as she had no children. So by the time the hunter was waiting for the 3rd part of the night for this deer and her husband, then the sister came there. Then she said, don't kill any of them, because they have a family. My sister has a baby to look after. She has her husband, but I have no one. So if you so desire, you can kill me. Don't kill any of them. So then, seeing her, the hunter drew his arrow. Again, what happened? Some water fell from his pot onto the linga. And again, some bael leaves, they fell from there. By intuition, he knew that this was the sister of the deer. And he said, I want to kill your sister, not you. She promised to return. So where is she? So the hunter is saying, if they will not return here, then they are breaking their promise. And why should you suffer for their sake? So then the sister returned to the family, and after some time, the entire family came there. So he had already worshipped Shivji 3 times. So the fourth part of the night, the entire family came there. The husband, the wife, the deer, the child, and the sister. All 4 of them came there. And then as they approached, the hunter again raised his bow, and in his haste, he dropped water and bay leaves on the linga of Shivji for the 4th time. So for the 4th time, he performed Abhishek. At that time, what happened? Lord Shiva himself appeared from that linga. And he told the hunter that he had worshipped him for the 4 sections of the night, and therefore he was very pleased with him. After offering him any benediction he may desire, and hearing from him that he asked to be taken to Lord Shiva's abode, Lord Shiva took him there. So Shivji appeared there. He said, I'm very happy with you. So here we see he did not intend to worship Lord Shiva. He did not intend to worship him. It was unintentional. Whenever he would climb the tree, unintentionally the water would fall from his pot onto the linga. But then Shivji was so happy with him, he said, any desire you want, I will fulfill. So he said, please take me to Kailash. I wish to be there with you forever. And Lord Shiva said, all right. So then Gurudev, he spoke another history. He said, once there was a demon in the forest who was worshipping Lord Shiva with hundreds of bay leaves. Although he had been worshipping him for some time, Shivji never appeared to him. He became so angry that he took an unripe bale fruit and threw it at the linga. He was offering many leaves but no response. So then he took one unripe fruit, not even ripe. He threw it at the linga there like he took a stone like that. At that moment Shivji appeared and he said, you have conquered me by giving me the whole fruit. Ask me for any benediction you want. In this way. So Gurudev said there are so many such histories in the Shiv Puran. He then explained why one performs Ekadashi on Shivaratri. Because in Hari Bhakti Vilas, Sanatana Goswami himself has said we should perform this Upavas on Shivaratri. Because many Vaishnavas, they feel that there is no need to observe an Ekadashi fast on Shivaratri, which is actually perfect. Because they are following in the footsteps of their authorities. So there is nothing wrong on their part. Whatever their authorities, Guru Varga have done, they are only following them. There is nothing wrong. But Gurudev, he is saying here that Sanatana Goswami has said in Hari Bhakti Vilas that it would be nice, it would be preferable if one can follow an upavas to Shivaratri, Ekadashi fast. So Sanatana Goswami has not forced anyone. Like Ekadashi you must. But he said it would be nice if you can follow this Ekadashi fast on Shivaratri. So therefore Gurudev, he would always follow his Ekadashi fast on Shivaratri. He would never honor grains, he would never take anything. Every time he would follow this Shivaratri. And we see Lord Shiva, especially for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, he is rendered so much help, such invaluable help he has rendered to the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Like we see Bhaktivedanta Thakur, after when he was doing his bhajan in Sarupganj, he wanted to go to Braj and perform his bhajan there for the rest of his life. So then as he was going near Tadakeshwar Shiv, then Tadakeshwar Shivji appeared to him in a dream. And he said, don't go there. Don't go to Braj now. We have so many services to do. Who will manifest the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? If you leave, who will manifest? The place is now hidden from everyone's view. No one knows where Mahaprabhu was born. Everyone thinks that Mahaprabhu was born on the western side of the Ganga. And actually Mahaprabhu's birthplace was on the eastern side. Purvi Tat, not Paschimi Tat. So who will manifest this place? So then Bhaktivedanta Thakur, he took that order of Lord Shiva on his head, Shirodhari, and then he returned back. And then he manifested the apparent place of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So if it wasn't for Shivji, then who would have known where the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is? None of us would have known. So we must always know that whenever we are thinking of Shivji, we must think of him from 3 perspectives, 3 viewpoints. Drishti Kon, Drishtikon means you are fixing your gaze at one particular, in one particular direction. So here, when we are fixing our gaze on Lord Shiva, we must fix our gaze from three different aspects. What are those three different aspects? Tattvagat Vichar, Madhuryagat Vichar, and Aishwaryagat Vichar. From these three perspectives, we should see him. From Tattvagat Vichar, who is he? Tattvagat Vichar, Shivji, we know he's Sadashiv, and he's always residing in Sadashiv Lok. But we must know that the Rudra, this Rudra is the manifestation of Shivji in this world. So this Rudra, he is like a demigod. So in the Shastras, it is said that you must not think of Vishnu and Rudra to be the same. If you do so, then you are an atheist, partially. So here, when it is said that you must not think of them to be the same, it means Rudra and Krishna. Because Rudra is like an empowered personality. But Shivji himself is Vishnu Tattva, Sadashiv. So there is no difference here between Sadashiv and Krishna. But here we know that Shivji, he is the predominating deity of the mode of ignorance. Mode of ignorance is Tamogun. And Brahma, he is worshipped in Rajogun. But then why is it that Shivji, his position is more exalted than Brahma? Why? If Brahma is in the mode of passion and he is in the mode of ignorance, then the mode of passion is actually greater than the mode of ignorance. No? And why is it? Because the example is given that Vishnu, he is like that piece of wood. He is like that piece of, he is in the mode of goodness, while Shivji is like that piece of wood that can be easily lit on fire. Gurudev gives this example from Madhurya Kadambini. He says that there is a piece of wood which is very dry, you can easily light it on fire and use it for cooking. But Brahma is like that piece of wet wood. If there is some wood which is wet, soaked in water, you cannot light it on fire so easily. And even if you light that piece of wood on fire, what will happen? Only smoke will come, no fire will come. And that smoke, what will it do? It will make your eyes go blind. So Brahma is like in that mode of passion. But Shivji is in the mode of ignorance, means immediately whenever there is a need, he will cause this universal devastation. Mahapralaya. Like at the end of the night of Brahma, there is one Mahapralaya, and there is another Mahapralaya at the end of Brahma's life. The two kinds of Mahapralayas. At the end of Brahma's night, and at the end of Brahma's life. So Shivji, he is like responsible for these two kinds of devastation. At the end of Brahma's night, what happens? Brahma goes into sleep, and all the living entities, they enter into Garbhodashaya Vishnu, the second Purusha avatar. At the end of Brahma's night, at the end of his night. At the beginning, creation takes place again. At the beginning of the day. Yeah, at the next day. At the end of the night, Brahma, he enters into Garbhodashaya Vishnu.
What about the beginning of the night? What happens during the night? During the nighttime, what happens?
During the nighttime, the karmic cycle continues. And at the end of the night, the karmic cycle for all the Baddha Jivas finishes. Means they enter into the body of Garbhodashaya Vishnu, and all their material desires, they are in a latent position, in a seed-like form. And on the next day of Brahma, they again take birth according to their desires, and they are given the corresponding material bodies. So this is one type of pralaya. And the other type of pralaya, which is at the end of Brahma's life, then Brahma, all the living entities, and even Garbhodashaya Vishnu, they enter into the body of Mahavishnu, Karnadasaya Vishnu. They enter, all of them enter into his body. And then again creation takes place.
So during the night, because you're saying that there's 36,000 years of fire, 36,000 years of water.
So Lord Shiva, he is responsible for that.
Yeah, but how does that correspond with Lord Brahma's day and night? Is that the night, beginning of the night, all this, the living entities go into Mahavishnu at the beginning of the night? Or?
Not at the beginning of the night, at the last part of the night, at the end of the night. At the end of the night, not at the beginning of the night.
When Lord Shiva does this.
This is mentioned in the Bhagavatam 3rd canto.
So when Lord Shiva, for 36,000 years, fire comes out of his eyes. Is that would universal devastation, is that on Brahma's day or at the cosmic after 100 years, or is that after?
There are two kinds of Mahapralaya. The first kind of Mahapralaya is at the end of Brahma's night, when Brahma goes to sleep.
So where does Lord Shiva fit into that? His burning and flooding?
The first kind of devastation that he causes makes all the living entities enter into the body of Garbhodashayi Vishnu, the second Purusha avatar. And the second kind of Mahapralaya is the complete devastation. Means that takes place at the end of Brahma's life of 100 years, and his 100 years finish. Means again he's responsible for that devastation as well. Yes. Why? Because he is responsible for that. He is in the mode of ignorance. No, we cannot say he is in the mode of ignorance. Rather, he works through the mode of ignorance. No, he works through that agency. He works through that agency, and then he initiates this devastation. Because the example is given that if there is a snake, what will he do? He will take a stick, beat that snake, kill that snake, throw the snake away, and throw the stick away as well. He is like that. Like if you, let's say you planted something in your field. Let's say you planted wheat. And once you harvest the wheat, once everything has been plucked, then what remains in the field? What remains? Once all the wheat has been harvested, then what remains? And then what is done? It's burned. Like in Punjab, you see they always burn it, and all of India is covered by smoke. In Punjab, when they burn the fields, there's so much air pollution. The air pollution is seen all the way until Delhi. And the air pollution is seen here as well. Because if it's not burned, then the field cannot be harvested again. The crops cannot be harvested again in that same field. So Shivaji has that task. He has to carry out this Mahapralaya because creation has to take place again. This is the nature of this material world. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, Dukkha, Doshanu, Darshanam. Material world is Janma, birth, Mrityu, death, Dukkha, Doshanu, Darshanam, and only miseries. The nature of this material world is such that the Jivas are taught that this is not your eternal home. You are like refugees here. So if creation, dissolution don't take place like a cycle, then there is no meaning to this material world. There is no meaning to it. It doesn't have any meaning. Then it is not different from the spiritual world. Then why was the material world created in the first place? So he initiates these two kinds of devastation. And what does he do? Whatever anarthas the jivas have, he removes all those anarthas. This we've heard in the Katha over the years. But we must know that from Tattva Vichar, he also appears as Linga, Shambhu Linga. So who is this Shambhu Linga? The Shambhu Linga is said to be the glance of Mahavishnu, the semblance of his glance. Mahavishnu, it is said when he looks at Yoni. So Yoni is like Mother Nature, like Jala Prakriti. Jala Prakriti is Mother Nature. And what happens when Mahavishnu glances at her? The semblance of his glance takes the form of a linga, Shivlinga. And then Mother Nature, Jala Prakriti, she is like the semblance of Ramadevi, who is the Sarup Shakti of Narayana, Vishnu. So she is like her semblance. So then when the glance of Vishnu falls on her, then the linga appears, which is like a symbol of the male reproductive potency. And the yoni, as we know, is a symbol of the female reproductive potency, and this way creation takes place. And it is said that this way when creation takes place, we see that in the Brahma Samhita it has been said that Krishna himself, he appears as Lord Shiva. Like the example is given that milk turns into yogurt when a transforming agent has been added into milk. No, then it transforms into yogurt. Similarly here, what is the transforming agent which leads to the manifestation of the Shambhu Linga? What is that transforming agent? It is that it is a mixture of a minute aspect of Jiva Tattva. It is a mixture of a minute aspect of Jiva Tattva, a minute aspect of Samvit and Halladini, and a minute aspect of Jala Prakriti. So these three aspects, they combine together to form this Shambhulinga. And this way, creation takes place. Because previously there is only Mahat Tattva. Mahat Tattva means the primordial material nature. which consists of 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. 5 gross elements, 3 subtle elements: mind, intelligence, false ego. The 10 senses. What are the 10 senses? The 5 working senses, 5 knowledge acquiring senses. Karmendriya, Jnanendriya. And the 5 sense objects, tanmatras. No, every sense has its own sense object. The 5 sense, and then the Jivatma and Paramatma himself. So this way this Mahat Tattva manifests through him. So this is Tattvagat Vichar of Lord Shiva. This is explained in Brahma Samhita. If you read Brahma Samhita, there it is all been explained. And then we see there is Aishwaryagat Vichar. Aishwaryagat Vichar means how Shivji worships Krishna in his Leelas. And there are so many examples. Like we see during Krishna's Leela, there was one king called Paundrak Vasudev. He was also called Shrigal Vasudev. All this has been explained by Gurudev in Shiva Tattva. Very beautiful book. It's like the entire ocean of Lord Shiva's glories are in this book. So they say Paundrak Vasudev, he also was four-handed, so-called four-handed personality. So then he despised Krishna. He did not like him so much. So then what did Krishna do? He fought with him and he killed him. But Paundrak Vasudev had a friend who was the king of Kashi, Kashiraj. So Kashiraj, he was also killed by Krishna in the Sudarshan Chakra. So Kashiraj, he had a son called Sudakshin. So Sudakshin, he wanted to avenge his father's death. I mean, who wouldn't want to? Any son would want to avenge his father's death. So then he wanted to attack Krishna. So then Sudakshina, he sought help from Lord Shiva, saying, my father was a great devotee and he's dead now and you're not even helping me. So then Lord Shiva helped him. So then what happened? The same thing happened to Sudakshina also. Krishna released his chakra. He burnt all of Kashi into ashes. And then Lord Shiva, he took shelter of Ananta Vasudev temple in Bhuvaneshwar. Bhuvaneshwar is also called Ekamra Khanam. Ekamra Khanam means this beautiful forest, delightful forest. Now here we must understand that when you speak all these leelas to any devotee of Lord Shiva, he will not like them. No, he will not like them. You speak any of these leelas that Shiva was defeated by Krishna, he will not like. Shaivites are very pakka. They are one-pointed in their nishtha. You say all these are they don't like. But what can we do? What we heard from our Guru Varga, we only speak those words. That is our job. Our job is that. Whether they like it or not, we just speak. And they'll say the same thing. Whatever we heard from our Guru Varga, we speak the same thing as well. So what can you do? This is the test of your own nishtha. This is the test of your own one-pointedness. Where is your one-pointedness? In the teachings of your Guru Varga or in the teachings of someone else? And it is a test for them also. But then what has Bhaktivedanta Thakur said? If one is truly a devotee of Lord Shiva, eventually he'll become a devotee of Lord Vishnu as well. Yes. So this will also happen eventually. But don't say this to them. You say this to them, they'll be very angry. So listen, we see the Lord Shiva, he took shelter of Ekamra Khanan, Bhuvaneshwar. So Bhuvaneshwar, how did this name come, Bhuvaneshwar? It is said that once Parvati, she was roaming in this forest, in this Ekamra Khanan, and she was so enchanted by this forest. She saw all the cows there, the cows were giving so much milk, all these trees, all these fields, very happy there. So then as she was strolling, as she was taking a stroll in the park, she was walking there. Then all of a sudden there were 2 brothers, Kriti and Vas, 2 demoniac brothers, 2 Rakshasas. So then when they saw Parvati, they became very lusty. Oh, this lady is so beautiful, if only we could have her. So then these 2 brothers, they started fighting among themselves. Oh, I want her, I want her. So then they went to Parvati and they said, you have to choose one, either him or me. Now, because this is what Rakshasas do, demons do. If the lady doesn't consent, then take her away by force. So these 2 Rakshasas were like that. They thought of Parvati as an ordinary lady. So they told Parvati, who do you choose, him or me? And Parvati said, all right, any of you who can carry me, I'll choose that person. So then what happened? They tried lifting her up, but they couldn't. But then somehow, both of them, they lifted her up. They lifted Parvati up. And they tried carrying her. At that time, what happened? She became Bhuvaneshwari. Bhuvaneshwari means she is Jala Prakriti herself. So she embodied the entire Brahmanda. She bore the weight of the entire material universe. And these two demons were very powerful themselves. They started crumbling under that weight. They started collapsing under that weight. So then what happened? They died then. They collapsed. So then Parvati, previously she asked Lord Shiva for help. Kindly help me, protect me against these demons. He said, I cannot help because these demons have received some special blessings. So then Parvati killed these two demons. Then she said, now I'm very tired because I exerted so much weight on them. I'm very tired. So kindly give me some water to drink. So then Lord Shiva, who was now called Bhuvaneshwar, what did he do? He called all the different tirthas of the world, of India. He called all the different tirthas and he told every particular tirtha, pilgrimage place, give me one drop of your sanctity, means of your tirthatva. Because a tirtha means a special form of water. So every tirtha gave one drop of water. And then this Bindu Sarovar was found. If you go to the Anantavasadeva temple in Bhuvaneshwar, next to the Anantavasadeva temple, you can see this Bindu Sarovar. So every drop of water beginning from north to south, India, was got. But the question arises, did Vrindavan Dham come there? Did Brajmandal Dham come to that place? What do you think, Maharaj? She came there. Brajmandal Dham, did she come? Yeah. She came or not? No, she wouldn't come. Why? Because Brajmandal is not just some tirtha. It is the heart of Krishna. This abode of Braj is not just some tirtha where you can go, have a bath in the river and deposit all your sins there and leave. No. It's the heart of Krishna. Like there's that story that Narad Rishi, he went and he started teasing Prayagraj. That you are called Tirtharaj, the king of all tirthas. All the tirthas come and offer respects to you. But does Brajmandal Dham come and offer respect to you? He said no. Why not? Narad Rishi asked him. So then Tirtharaj Prayag, he went to Krishna and he asked him, you may be the king of all pilgrimage places, but Brajmandal Dham doesn't come and offer any respect to me. What is the reason? Krishna said, Brajmandal Dham is my heart. Have I made you the king of my heart? No. Then how can you demand that she come to you? So Brajmandal Dham did not come there in that place. So if you go there to Bindu Sarovar near the Anantavasadeva temple and if you have a bath there, you get the fruit of bathing in all the different pilgrimage places, in all the different tirthas. It's such a beautiful place there, Bhuvaneshwar. Bhuvaneshwar also has a place called Rohini Sarovar. Rohini Sarovar, anyone who bathes in that pond, it said they get 400, they go to Vaikuntha. In that place, Rohini Sarovar has. So Gurudev, he took all the devotees there on pilgrimage. Bhuvaneshwar, and Nilmadhav, Jagannath Puri, Kantil Desh, all these different places. So this is Aishwaryagat Vichar. Like we know there was that demon, Frikasur, Bhasmasur. He received that benediction from Lord Shiva that anyone he keeps his hand on, that person will be burned to ashes. And ultimately he wanted to keep his hand on Lord Shiva himself because he wanted Parvati for his own self. So then Vishnu, Bhagavan, he appeared as a Brahmin. And what did he do? He told him, the Lord Shiva is always, he himself doesn't know what kind of benediction he gives. So first test for your own self. First keep your hand on your own head and then let's see. So then he kept his hand on his own head, he was burned to ashes. This is one kalpa. In another kalpa, it is said Bhagavan appeared as Mohini avatar. And when this demon saw Mohini, he was so enchanted by her beauty. So then Mohini, she started dancing. And this demon also started dancing. They started like many different postures like this, like this, like that, like that. And finally Mohini, she kept her hand on her head like this. And Frikasur also, imitating Mohini, kept his hand on her head like this and he burned himself to ashes. So these are two histories from two different kalpas. So Frikasur, that was his end. And then we see there was another demon called Shalva. So Shalva, he had received this benediction from Lord Shiva that he received this aeroplane. And by this aeroplane, he could accommodate as any number of soldiers he could. Millions of soldiers in his aeroplane, and he could attack Dwarika from above. So then what did he do? He started attacking from above, and all his soldiers, they started attacking from beneath, on the land. So Dwarika was besieged by this demon. At that time, Krishna was not even there in Dwarika. And Krishna's son Pradyumna, he was fighting with this demon Shalva. And then Pradyumna could not defeat him as well. So then Krishna appeared and then he killed this demon Shalva. And then Lord Shiva, he appeared there and he begged for forgiveness from Krishna that I gave such a benediction to this demon. Also, there's another Leela from the Puranas which says that there was one demon called Tripurasur. So Tripurasur, he was very powerful. Because all the demons, they have learned this science of life called Mrityu Sanjeevani. Now, the guru of all the demons is Shukracharya. So Shukracharya, what does he do? When any demon is killed, he brings the demon back to life by the power of his mantras. This is called Vishalyakarini, Mrityu Sanjeevani. He re-energizes them, he reinstills life in them, he revitalizes them by the power of his mantras. So in this way, this Tripurasur also, he could not be killed. And also this Tripurasur, he had a well full of nectar, Amrit. And whenever any of his soldiers would be killed, he would throw all his soldiers in that well and they would somehow that nectar would enter their mouths and they would again live. And again they would start fighting. So that time Shivji, he fought with this Tripurasur, but he could not defeat him. So then, it is said that Bhagavan, he appeared as a cow. Vishnu appeared as a cow and Brahma appeared as a calf. And both of them entered inside that well and they drank all that nectar. And Tripurasur was helpless and he was killed by Lord Shiva. This is Aishwarya Vichar. Like we know Banasur, great devotee of Lord Shiva, and his daughter Usha, she fell in love with Krishna's grandson, Aniruddha. Aniruddha was the son of Pradyumna. So then Banasur was furious because after some time he realized that his daughter was being very intimate with another person, because the symptoms are seen. So then he saw and then he realized that this was Aniruddha, Krishna's grandson. So then he punished him, put him inside the prison. So then Narad Rishi went and told Krishna what happened. So then Krishna came with all the soldiers of Dwaraka and then Shivji also came there and they fought a huge, very terrifying war. Krishna, he released his Narayan Jora, Shivji released his Shiva Jora. And then finally Krishna, he put Shivji to sleep. And then Krishna, what did he do? Banasur had more than 1,000 arms. He cut all his arms and he only left 4 arms for him. Why? Because with these 4 arms, he would play on his drum and Lord Shiva, he would dance. So he left these 4 arms. He did not kill him. And ultimately, Banasur was also given Sarupya Mukti. Means he became an associate of Lord Shiva in Kailash Lok, in Shiva Lok. So here we see that Krishna gave some preference to Shivji's devotees, one-pointed devotees. And then there is Leela Gatvichar, Madhurya Gatvichar. What is Madhurya Gatvichar? We see in Ram's Leela that when Shivji was speaking this Ram Katha to Parvati, to Sati Devi, then they had this Purti of Ram Leela. When Ramchandra was in the Dandakaranya forest, and he was looking for Sita everywhere. Weeping, where is Sita, where is Sita? So then Sati Devi, she asked Shivji that if Ram is really Bhagavan, then how is it that he is weeping in separation from his wife? Like any ordinary man. And Shivji, he told Sati Devi, this is only his Naravat Leela. Don't be deceived by his Naravat Leela. But she didn't listen. She went to examine Ram. And she assumed the form of Sita. And then Ram, every time he would see her, he would turn his face away. And then finally Ram asked her, Mother, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Where is Shivji? Where is your husband? Then Sati Devi was very ashamed that I went to test him. And then what did she do? She went and lied to Shivji, saying, I believe every word you said. And then when she wanted to sit on the left side of Shivji, he said, no. Because you assumed the form of my mother, sit in front of me, not on my left side. So this is Naravat Leela, Ram weeping in separation from Sita. And we say that after Ram killed Ravan, some people were of the opinion that Ravan was a Brahmin. So then they said, you have to do some Praishchitta. You told Ram, you have to atone for this. So then what should you do? Make a linga of Lord Shiva and worship him. So when Lord Ram, Sri Ramchandra made this linga of Lord Shiva, then all the people, they started saying, Rameshwar ki jai, Rameshwar ki jai, means he who is the Ishwar of Ram. So when they started saying this, then all the demigods, all the different gods and goddesses, now you cannot even use the term demigod anymore. If you say demigod, people get offended. So you'll have to say gods and goddesses. Because they feel if you're using the word demigod, you're minimizing their position. Swami Maharaj would use the word demigod. Gurudev would say semi-god. So there's demigod, semi-god, but now you can't use any of that much now. Because society is evolving. At least for the better or the worse, we don't know. So now we'll have to say gods and goddesses. So then all the gods and goddesses, they appeared there. And they said, oh, Rameshwar means Ram and Shiva are the same. Don't have any doubt. Don't think he's more exalted than him. But then as soon as the Devatas said this, then Lord Shiva, he emerged from the linga. He emerged from the linga and he said, oh, Ram Ishwar means what? Means he whose Ishwar is Ram. This is the meaning of Rameshwar. Like when we say Gopishwar, means what? He whose Ishwar, the controllers are the gopis. So this way from Ram's Lila we can see there are so many different pastimes of Lord Shiva. Like once the demigods, the human beings and the demons, they were fighting amongst themselves. They wanted the Ramayana for themselves. Ramayana has like 1 lakh shlokas. They said, give it to us. They said, no, give it to us. They said, no, give it to us. So there was a 3-way battle. So then Lord Shiva, they went to him and they asked him, kindly you must arrive at a conclusion. So then Lord Shiva said, all right, I'll divide the Ramayana into 3 parts. You take 33,000, you take 33,000, you take 33,000 shlokas. So then 1,000 shlokas remained. He said, you take 333, you take 333, you take 333. Finally, 1 shloka remained with 10 parts. So he said, all right, you take 3 parts, you take 3 parts, and you take 3 parts. And only 1 word remained with 2 syllables. What was that? What was that, Maharaj? Rama. And Shivji said, this I'm keeping. Other things you take away, he said. Gurudev likes speaking this story. He always speaks this story. So from Ram Lila, we see that even Kakbhushandi, Kakbhushandi is one of the great personalities who will always recite the Ramayana. He's known for reciting the Ramayana even to Garuda. Once Garuda had a doubt in Ram. Because when Ramchandra was bound by this Nathpash of this Indrajit, Meghavrat, then Ram and Lakshman, they fell unconscious when they were bound by these snakes of Indrajit. So then Narada, he requested all the Vanaras, you pray to Garuda. And as soon as Garuda will come, he will arrive, the snakes will leave on their own. So as soon as Garuda flew there to Lanka, all the snakes they left. Ram and Lakshman were bound him. So then Garuda, he had a doubt in his mind. Say, how is this possible? How can he be my Prabhu? Me being his sevak, if I have such power, then how can the Prabhu not have the same power as well, if not more? Because as soon as the snakes saw me, they left. But here I see my own Prabhu is bound by these snakes. So he had this doubt. Sanshayatma vinashati. So then he went to Lord Shiva, Garuda, and he said, please, you reconcile. Please tell me what I should do. And Lord Shiva said, you go to Kakbhushandi and go and listen to Ram Katha from him. Even now in the Himalayas, there is one place called Kakbhushandi Kunda, a very beautiful place near Kedarnath. I saw one video there, a very beautiful place. This is the place where he spoke the Ramayana to Garuda. Because Garuda had a doubt in his heart. And if you see, the eagle is considered to be the king of all birds. And the crow is like very insignificant. No. It is said even if you look at a crow, it is very inauspicious. And if a crow is cawing, the sound of a crow cawing is also very inauspicious. If a crow is ever cawing, you must shoo it away immediately, or else if you listen to its cawing, something inauspicious will happen in your day. But still, Garuda, he went and he listened to this Ram Katha from him. And his doubts went away. So who was Kakbhushandi in his previous life? In his previous life, it is said Kakbhushandi was a hunter. He was a hunter and a devotee of Lord Shiva. So every day he would worship on Linga. But on one particular day, he couldn't find anyone who could worship the Linga on his behalf. He couldn't find any devotee of Shivji. So there he found a Vaishnava. So he caught that Vaishnava and he said, worship the Linga on my behalf. So the Vaishnava was one pointed. Now, generally when you worship Shivji, you worship him as a Vaishnava. But he wanted him to worship Shivji as Parameshwar. So then he wanted to force the Vaishnava. And then the Vaishnava started reciting certain mantras which glorified Shivji in relation to Vishnu. He started glorifying him in this way. So then Kakbhushandi realized what was happening, then he took his sword out. He said, now I'm going to cut your head off. As he was about to cut his head off, Shivji broke open from that linga and he cursed him, saying, may you suffer in hell for millions of lifetimes. Vaishnava is Ajat Shatru. Devotee, he has no enemies and you consider him to be an enemy. Now because of this sin, go suffer in hell. Millions of lifetimes. But the Vaishnava, he was very soft-hearted. The Vaishnava. So then he prayed to Lord Shiva on behalf of Kakbhushan, this hunter. And he said, kindly forgive him. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's very ignorant, so kindly forgive him. Please. He fell at the feet of Shivji, caught hold of his feet. Kindly forgive him. And Lord Shiva said, all right. Although I have cursed you to suffer in hell for millions of lifetimes, I can't take that curse back. But still what I can do is, I can minimize your suffering. So all those millions of lifetimes of suffering will like pass in a moment. And like in a moment you'll suffer everything that you're meant to suffer and you'll be born again as a Brahmin. Shivji blessed him. Now you're a hunter. Next life you'll be born as a Brahmin. So next life he was born as a Brahmin. At that time he had like some argument with one Rishi. I think his name was, there was one Rishi, Prabhuji always speaks his name. He has hair all over his body. What is the Rishi called? From head to toe is only covered by hair. Lo Maharshan Rishi. So he had an argument with him, and Lo Maharshan Rishi, he cursed him, saying, you become a crow in your next life. Because you're always speaking like a crow, cawing like a crow. Because he was like a Brahmanishta Rishi. This person, he was absorbed in thinking about Brahma, impersonal Brahman. So then he said, next life you become a crow. Because you're doubting my Brahmanishtatva. You're doubting my quality of being absorbed in this Brahman effulgence. So then when he was cursed to become a crow, then the Rishi, he felt very sad. He said, all right, you'll again be born as a Brahmin. But he said, no. If I assume the form of a crow, I'll always remain humble for the rest of my life. Because generally it is said that if one is born as a Brahmin, he's very proud. No, Brahmins, they don't bow down to anyone. They're very proud sometimes. So he said, I'd rather be a crow. So then this Rishi also blessed him. That although you'll remain in the form of a crow, you'll have the darshan of Sri Ramchandra. Ramchandra would himself feed Malpua to this crow. Like once, Kakbhushandi, he came to Ayodhya, he wanted to witness the Balya Leela of Ram. So then as Ram was playing with all his different friends, then he was like astonished, absolutely wonderstruck by his Leelas. So then Ram, he took some Malpua and he wanted to feed this crow. But then this crow started flying away, thinking, oh, what am I seeing? Am I like in some Maya, in some illusion? Am I being bewildered? So as he was flying all around the universe, all around the Brahmanda, the hand of Ram was following him everywhere, trying to feed this crow, trying to feed him here. So this is Ram Leela, Madhurigat Vichar in terms of Ram's pastimes. And now we must know Madhurigat Vichar in terms of Krishna's Leela. We see from Krishna's birth itself, Lord Shiva, he had such an important part to play. Because near Gokul, the birthplace of Krishna, there is this place called Chintaharan Mahadev. Chintaharan Mahadev means what? He who steals one's anxieties away. Chintaharan. So there we know that Lord Shiva, he came from Kailash and he wanted to have the darshan of Yashoda's son. But Yashoda would not let him have darshan of her son. No, he was a newborn baby. So then Yogamaya, she requested her. Because Krishna, he was crying the whole time, day and night, just weeping, weeping, weeping. So then as soon as Lord Shiva came there, then Yashoda, she showed her baby for like one moment. And then Krishna stopped crying. And then Lord Shiva, he told her, if you have any anxiety in your life, any thought that something may happen to your son, remember me and immediately I will come and protect your boy. So this place is there, Chintaharan Mahadev. And we go to Nandagaon, there is Nandishwar Mahadev there. Lord Shiva, he prayed to Krishna that may I become a mountain, a hill, and may you perform all your pastimes there. May I always receive your foot dust there. Became Nandishwar. In Kamyavan, he became Kameshwar. Der Kadam, he became Ashlishwar Mahadev. It is said that Parjanya Maharaj, he desired that Nanda have a son. Because Nanda, he was already entering into middle age and he still had no son. So he desired that Nanda be blessed with a boy. So he prayed to Ashlishwar Mahadev. And then what happened? Shivji, he blessed Nanda with his son, Bhagavan himself. So this way we see as in Braj, he is present everywhere as a Kshetrapal. Kshetrapal means the guardian of the Dham. If you want to enter the Dham, the holy abode of Bhagavan, then you'll have to seek the permission of the Kshetrapal. Means the guardian. So if you want to enter into Brajadham, you'll have to seek the permission of Lord Shiva. Because we see Mathura Dham is the gateway to enter into Braj. No, if you want to enter Vrindavan, you'll have to go through Mathura. But who is the Kshetrapal of Mathura? Who is guarding Mathura? Who? Buddheshwar and Rangeshwar, Pepaleshwar, Gokarneshwar. He's present in all these forms. So only if you seek His blessings, His mercy, then you can hope to enter into Vrindavan. And even when you're in Vrindavan, seek the mercy of Gopeshwar. Bankandi Mahadev. No. Sanatana Goswami, he couldn't go all the way to have darshan of Gopeshwar. So Gopeshwar appeared as Bankandi Mahadev. Go to Govardhan, have darshan of Chakleshwar Mahadev. There, when Indra was submerging Braj in his reign, then what did Shivji do? He took his Trishul and he spun it around like a chakra. He started spinning it continuously, protecting all the Brajvasis from the rain. So he received this name Chakleshwar Mahadev. So if you want to have darshan of Giriraj, if you want to do parikrama of Giriraj, if you don't go to Chakleshwar Mahadev, then how can you receive the mercy of Giriraj? Not possible. Therefore, Sanatana Goswami did bhajan there for so many years. Near Chakleshwar Mahadev, he showed everyone that first seek his blessings, then you do parikrama of Giriraj. His bhajan kutir is there to testify to this fact. So this way he is always there in Krishna's Leelas. What is he doing there? He is making Krishna relish this Madhurya Ras more and more, more and more. He is making him relish this sweetness more and more. And this is his best service. If you think of all the different services that Lord Shiva is rendering, as Shankaracharya, as drinking the poison, as like destroying the entire world, this dissolution, these are good services. But the best service that he is rendering is that he is arranging for Krishna to relish this Madhuryamayi bhav in Braj, this bhav of sweetness, unmixed, unadulterated sweetness. And even in Dwaraka, it is said that once Krishna, he didn't have a son from Jambavati, who was one of his queens. So he prayed to Shiva, and Shivji blessed him with a son. So this is in terms of Krishna Leela. And in terms of Gaura Leela, we see that as soon as Mahaprabhu was born, Shivji also came there to Mayapur to have the blessings, to have the darshan of the son of Mother Sachi. He also came there. And when Mahaprabhu went to South India, he went to so many different Shiva Kshetras. He went to so many different pilgrimage places of Lord Shiva. Like, you remember anything? Sri Shailam. You know what Sri Shailam is? In Andhra Pradesh. Then there's one more in Karnataka. Which one? So many different pilgrimage places there. You don't remember that? Huh? No, Somnath is in Gujarat. Not there. So this way he went there to all these different places, and Lord Shiva, he appeared with Parvati, and then they appeared as a Brahmin and Brahmini. And they spoke and they had this beautiful conversation with Mahaprabhu on Krishna Leela. So this way, Lord Shiva's position, his identity, his very yogdan, his part in the Leelas of Bhagavan is not to be minimized in any way, is not to be overlooked in any way. So therefore, our sole prayer at the lotus feet of Lord Shiva must be that he gives us this qualification to first enter into the Leela of Krishna. No, we cannot bypass him. We cannot overlook or bypass him and try to, by force, we cannot enter into Krishna Leela or Gaura Leela. Only by his mercy can we be qualified and then enter. So he will give us this qualification, Lord Shiva. So therefore today is the Tithi that he appeared. There are so many more glories about him. You can read Shiva Tattva for yourself. Also our Guru Varga has spoken so many different glories about him. Prabhuji has spoken so much Katha over the years. Last year he described the 12 Jyotirlingas in India. In India, the 12 temples of Lord Shiva, where he appeared as this Jyotirlinga. Jyotirlinga means the linga of effulgence. So Prabhuji was saying in the class that how did he receive such effulgence? Because he always recites this Murinda Vrinda Vandite. He always recites this Kripa Katakshas Tavaraj. So as he started reciting this Kripa Katakshas Tavaraj, what happened? A divine effulgence emanated from his heart. Means what was that divine effulgence? It was a seva pravriti. Towards who? Towards Makeshwari, Kriyeshwari, Sadeshwari, Sureshwari, Triveda Bharatishwari, Pramana Karaneshwari. That seva pravriti, that mood of seva towards Radharani, who is Swarup Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Icha Shakti, manifested as that Jyotirlinga, as the 12 main Jyotirlingas. So that Prabhuji, he spoke that katha last year. So we'll stop here, and hopefully from tomorrow we can listen to Prabhuji. As for me myself, I don't wish to stay here and speak and take all your precious time away, because this is Prabhuji's time. But still, this is his order. He's taking some rest. So then I cannot be a coward and shy away from that order. Some katha should be spoken. Then as his representative, I can speak as much as my adhikar allows me to speak. But hopefully from tomorrow he'll be here and we can listen to his katha and be like incalculably benefited. So we'll stop here. Shri Shiv Thakur ki jai, Shri Shiv Tattva ki jai, Shri Shiv Chaturdashi ki jai, Shiva Ratri ki jai. Sabarshat Shri Shiv Thakur ki jai, Shri Parvati Devi ki jai, Ganesh Thakur ki jai, Kartikeyan ki jai, Tariya Parikar ki jai, Sharadai Prabhudev Prabhupada Rupanakari Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Dai